Live stream portion of our broadcast this morning. It is Thursday, December 18th. We are 1 week away from Christmas.
Yes, I'm not ready.
I'm not ready. I was going to ask, are you ready? Let's see. Chuck Jager is my special guest. He's the executive director with Morton House Museum, also known as the home of Benton Harbor history. This is your slower time of the year, right?
It definitely is.
Okay.
Yeah, we are really open to the public from 8 October. So this time of year, we're cleaning and organizing and sorting, and we're going to redo an exhibit room. So right now the place is a mess. We wouldn't want people coming in for a tour at the moment.
Last time you were here, you were talking about the walnuts that had proliferated across your yard. Did people come and get them?
I don't think anybody came and got them. So
I thought about it like 5-6 times.
I picked them all up, basically. So
what'd you do with them?
We have a couple of yard waste kind of places.
Okay.
Kind of threw them down the hill.
I figured you were going to chuck them at the squirrels or something like that.
Yeah, please don't use my name in vain.
Sorry. Throw them.
Just chuck it.
Toss them.
Like it, just chuck it.
So Chuck's going to talk to us this morning about this day in history. I love this day in histories. Going back to December 18th, 1925. So I'll tease it right there. So we won't talk about it yet. We'll also talk about some of the Morton House Museum exhibits that are planned for next season, including a large focus on the history of Benton Harbor schools. How'd you decide to do that?
Yeah. Well, frankly, I had a discussion with a museum consultant, and her advice was you should do something that appeals to tourists.
Oh.
And it's not bad advice, but we really decided, no, we want to double down and reaching out to our community.
Yeah.
The people who live in Benton Harbor, who used to live in Benton Harbor, the people who love Benton Harbor, and that kind of thing. And so schools really hits home, and not just the schools, but the extracurricular sports, band, choir, all that kind of stuff. And so I think it's really going to be a great thing, and a way to really involve people in the exhibits.
Okay.
Instead of just coming to see it, they can be part of the exhibit.
Make it more interactive on the way in and through the exhibit itself.
Yeah, because I know lots of people have lots of stuff.
Yeah.
I know I have stuff at home from my, school, career or whatever. And so people can, contribute those historical items or lend them to us and things like that. So.
Okay. And so that will open in May and run through October, normal season.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll talk about the different aspects of that and what you might be looking for as well, and what you can potentially contribute. We also have some other things that we'll touch on as we have time. A possible steamship theme in this year's Blossom Time Parade, and I see a question mark by that one. A possible Graham and Morton steamship in this year's Blossom Time Parade. We'll ask you about that. Also, America's celebration of the semi-quincentennial, the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States, because Michigan has a new license plate coming out in January.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they're bringing back a red, white, and blue theme.
Yeah.
So
I think there were bicentennial plates back in 1976, if I remember.
That makes sense, and I think this one is supposed to look like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to get a new license plate, which is always fun, you can get a red, white, and blue one.
Nice. And historical.
And historical. Books for sale for last-minute Christmas gifts. I like this one. Tell me more.
Yeah, so we have
in 10 seconds or less.
A variety of local history books at our place. You could go on to our website, buy it, and we'll get it to you. Before Christmas.
Last minute Christmas gift. So we'll hit that one a couple of times. We're going to talk with Chuck Jager. He's the executive director of the Morton House Museum, the home of Benton Harbor history. That's coming up next. First off, we have some news. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning.
Dollars in cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
7:05, it is the WSJM Morning Show for Thursday, December 18th, 2025. I'm Ken Lundberg. We've got local news coming up in just a moment, weather coming up in just a moment. But first off, I want to introduce the guest that we're going to be talking with this hour, Chuck Jager. He is the executive director of the Morton House Museum, the home of Benton Harbor history. It's one of my favorite shows when you come in, Chuck.
Well, that's nice to hear.
It is, because we get to talk about fun things that are right here in our backyard.
Always a good day to talk about history. So
yeah, absolutely. So we're going to visit this day in history for Benton Harbor St. Joseph, some interesting items from December 18th, 1925. Thank you for doing the research on that.
Yeah, it was fun.
We'll also talk about the Morton House Museum exhibit that they are preparing for next season, which begins in May. And there's a call to action here for you. The exhibit itself is going to be the history of Benton Harbor schools. So we're going to go through a lot of different aspects of that. Okay, so we'll have that and more. It's always a lot of fun. Oh, and also books for sale, last minute Christmas gifts. If you want to educate somebody and give them a nice Christmas gift, maybe the Morton House Museum has you covered. So we'll talk about those things and more. And Chuck promises he can get it to you by Christmas. Or at least start it. Oh, you really? Okay.
If you're local.
If you're local. All right. So we'll do that, because sometimes when you touch the mail service, it gets a little bit,
Yeah.
All right. We'll come back and give more to that in just a couple of moments right here on the WSJM Morning Show. First off, weather forecast. We've got cloudy skies and some rain out there right now. We do have a 100% chance of rain continuing for good portions of the day today. Breezy conditions. The high today is supposed to be, I tell you, 49 degrees for a high predicted in Benton Harbor, 49 in St. Joseph, 51 degrees. It's supposed to get to 51 degrees in New Buffalo today. That's not winter.
It's not. It's too bad.
Yeah, and we're getting ready for the winter solstice and everything, and no. Yeah, 51 degrees.
All those snowmen melting out there for the kids.
they look very depressed at this point, the snowmen. Tonight's forecast, cloudy, 80% chance of rain changing to snow. It's going to be windy and colder overnight. We've got that flash freeze thing that might be moving through real quick, a clipper type system. I don't know. Low of 18 degrees overnight. Yeah, so it's going to get wet, and then it's going to get very cold. The winds out of the west, 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusting up to 35. Friday's forecast, partly sunny, a 30% chance of lake effect snow showers. Windy conditions, a high around 26, gusts to 35 miles per hour. Slim to none. That's the chance for a white Christmas, because we've got highs probably around 40 degrees on Saturday. We're going to have the same thing next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. The high is going to be around 40 degrees. So unfortunately, you can probably put away the snow shovel for a couple of days. Some of the news from the WSJM newsroom. Time was running out, and now we know for sure that the historic restart of the Michigan Palisades nuclear power plant will not happen this year, as previously indicated. Holtec International is the company overseeing the project and confirmed the revised timeline after previously planning to resume power generation by the end of this year. In a brief statement about the delay, Holtec spokesperson Nick Culp said, "We are planning for a Palisades restart in early 2026, following completion of ongoing project activities." No other reason provided for the delay. Palisades stopped operating, you'll remember, back in 2022 and was initially slated for decommissioning before plans shifted. If successful, it will be the first U.S. nuclear plant to restart after entering the decommissioning phase. Bill, let's see, what do we have here? President Donald Trump's address to the nation last night, focusing primarily on the economy. Area Congressman Bill Huizenga praising what he heard, saying it signaled a shift in the country's direction and renewed optimism for the future. In a statement, Huizenga said President Trump outlined how the United States is moving away from what he described as the managed decline of the Biden administration and toward restoring American exceptionalism. Huizenga says he believes the nation's best days are still ahead and that unleashing the economy will help the country recover from what he called Bidenflation, saying increasing economic opportunity, wages, job creation, and affordability will help all Michiganders. What is the gig economy and how can you keep up with it? Lake Michigan College launching a new academic program focused on that very question. It's part of a slate of programs approved by the LMC Board of Trustees this week. Incoming president for LMC, Dr. Ken Flowers, said the gig economy curriculum will be offered through the college's business department.
The gig economy is a certificate as part of our Associate Applied Business program. And so we're seeing a lot of people come in with, they'll get a job and they'll work in selling something, right? Selling something online. And then they'll get it, so it's taking all these different experiences they have and help them build a business with it.
The gig economy program will include coursework in business management, marketing, sales, customer service, and professionalism. Flowers said the program reflects changing workforce trends.
Get these built some short-term skills that they can learn how to do sales better, or do marketing better, or just kind of build confidence in their ability to grow their own selves. It's almost like an entrepreneurial type degree.
The certificate program will begin in the fall at LMC. Trustees also approved new programs in cardiac sonography and studio art. And finally, a first-of-its-kind event is coming to St. Joseph High School in January. Superintendent Kristen Bach says the Maize and Blue Athletic Fund is hosting an Athlete Wellness Summit on January 10th. It's designed with input from students.
We elicited feedback from our student athletes, 9th through 12th grade, to say, what do you want to learn more about? Do you want to learn more about healthy eating, having a mindset on and off the field, all sorts of different things.
The summit will bring together student athletes, coaches, and experts to focus on physical, mental, and emotional wellness. The event will feature sessions on mental resilience, nutrition, strength training, leadership, and stress management, with students hearing a keynote address by author and wellness advocate Mark Ostach. That's a look at some of the news that we have from the WSJM newsroom this morning. It's 7:11. We've got more to talk about this hour. We do have sports coming up in just a moment. But first off, again, welcoming our guest into the WSJM studios this hour. It's Chuck Jager, the executive director for the Morton House Museum, the home of Benton Harbor history. And Chuck is he's a fairly frequent visitor to the WSJM studios. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks. Enjoy it.
It's good to see you. And so let's start off, because this hour we're going to talk about upcoming exhibits. We're going to delve into the Morton House Museum exhibit for next season, the history of Benton Harbor schools, and what you might be looking for from members of the community who attended Benton Harbor high schools or Benton Harbor schools. But first off, you did some research about this day in Benton Harbor and St. Joseph history. You said you found some interesting items from December 18th. On this day in history.
Yeah,
so you want to go through one or two right now, and then we can.
From the News Palladium.
Okay.
The Herald Press in St. Joe and the News Palladium in Benton Harbor combined to make our current Herald Palladium. So
yeah.
This is the News Palladium.
The News Palladium.
And one of the things that jumped out to me, so we are in the midst of doing the Newsy Fund, where people collect money for Christmas for needy families and stuff.
Okay.
That used to be called the News Palladium Christmas Fund, and this jumped out to me. Here comes the KKK donating $30 for the Christmas fund.
That's a headline in
That's a headline in the paper from 1925. So
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, the KKK kind of died out and then was reborn in the teens and the 20s.
Yeah.
And
so they had local chapter here?
Apparently so.
Okay.
And it wasn't, we think of it as a Southern kind of thing.
Yeah.
But in the 20s, it was a national thing.
Wow.
Also, I used to tell my kids they were equal opportunity haters, not just anti-Black, but anti-Jewish, anti-Catholic, anti-immigrant. And so the KKK was, it was definitely a thing. And that would kind of shocked me.
Yeah, I'd say it shocks me that $30 bought him a headline.
Yeah. Well, $30 in 25
True.
Might be like 500 today.
Okay.
So.
All right. So, still very interesting.
Yeah. And then, so do you know the old name of Whirlpool?
The Upton something company.
The Upton Machine Company.
Machine Company. That's right.
In the December 1925 paper, they had an ad. They do talk about an Upton electric washer, the ideal gift for Christmas.
Oops.
I don't know about that. But also, I don't know if you know this, they sold toys for kiddies.
Oh.
So the story is, for a while, something happened. I don't know if they lost the patent or something with business, and they shifted off to making toys. So they have an Upton gun spinning top, the Great American Horseshoe Game, Upton air rifles.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. And so I have an ad from Upton Machine Company.
That is funny. Toys for the kiddies.
Yeah.
including a lot of firearm themed things.
Yeah.
I do remember that they had the is that like a BB gun? Is that the
It
deal?
is,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yep,
remember
I
they
think
had the
so.
BB gun.
Yep.
But the other things they had there were what again?
A horseshoe game and a Upton gun spinning top. It looks like a gun that shoots out a top that spins.
Oh, yeah.
You
Those
know,
are fun. I had a
kinda
plastic
see
one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are a lot of fun.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Anything else from December 18, 1925?
yeah, we've got some good sports stuff. So Grand Beach is a little community south of New Buffalo.
Okay.
They used to
Grand
have a-
Beach.
Grand Beach,
Okay.
Michigan, and they used to have a big hotel there. There's an article here. They're getting ready for a ski jump competition. They had a ski jumping hill in
Wow.
Grand Beach, just south of New Buffalo.
Oh boy.
Back
When it snowed in December.
Back when it snowed. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Red Grange was doing some things with the Chicago Bears back in 1925.
Okay.
And I saw this headline for basketball: Three Oaks may upset Tiger 5. So Three Oaks was a competitor to Benton Harbor.
Wow.
So Three Oaks and New Troy combined to make River Valley
Okay.
School District back in the 60s. But, small town basketball around here was really good. Bridgman won a number of state championships. Stevensville did, Baroda.
Wow.
We had really good small basketball back in especially the 30s and 40s.
Well, that is a good time to turn to sports, our current sports from our friends at Michigan News Network. But we're going to be visiting this hour with Chuck Jager. He's the executive director for Morton House Museum, the home of Benton Harbor history. We'll explore these and other topics all hour long with Chuck. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tune in on the video live stream. We're going to keep the conversation going there right now.
Sports on the Michigan.
Okay, back on the video live stream. May I see a couple of those things that you talked about? Yeah, there. I want to just these two things here. Okay, toys for the kiddies. The Upton gun spinning top. That's hilarious. So if you had the top where you had the lever and you had to do the thing, this looks like that, except it has like a pistol type handle grip on it, and it goes there. Every youngster always gets a thrill when spinning a top, providing he can operate it easily. A few twists of this top in the Upton gun, and the spring is ready to send it whirling and singing. There's an easy pull on the trigger, and the top spins. 25 cents.
Yeah.
25 cents.
Yeah.
Not too
It
bad.
sounds like the toys kind of really carried the Upton Machine Company through
Oh, yeah.
so it could survive. And then eventually they got back to appliances and became
What they
this
are
top,
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortune 500 company.
The Great American Game Horseshoe. They were selling rubberized horseshoes of regular size. Circular, steel-colored standard plates can be played indoors with no injury to floors or furniture, or on porches, sidewalks, or lawns.
It doesn't sound likely that there's no injury to furniture.
The key word is can be played. Can be played with. The retail price on the horseshoes, if you want to play the Great American Game of Horseshoes, $1. That's high dollar.
Yeah.
Let's see. This was at, you could buy some things on sale at Wallace Brothers, at, what is that, Hall Hardware? Is that right? And then Peter's Hardware Company as well.
Yeah.
That was in Benton Harbor, but in St. Joseph, you could get it at the Square Drugstore. Am I reading that right? Richter and Achterberg.
Octoberg. I think, is a big name around here.
Okay.
Junior high band director was Mr. Octoberg.
Rice Brothers, and a few others. Oh, Gas Drug Store. Gast, big name as well.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. They had a drugstore?
Apparently.
Okay, all right. The Upton Air Rifles. You could go horseshoes for $1, or you could get the Upton Air Rifle for $2. You know what I'm choosing?
I'll bet most kids.
Yeah. The Model 40, the 1,000 shot lever action, repeating special, retail price $2. You could get the Model 20, which was a single shot lever action, retail price $150. The Model 10 for $1. Yeah, I'm thinking my dad would have gone for the $1, right in the middle of the road. You could get the cork gun for 75 cents, or another cork gun for 25 cents. Break action.
Yeah, a few years ago, we had a exhibit of these toys, Upton Machine Company toys. The Demoskis had like everything.
Oh, man.
You know, and trucks also was a big thing, like the metal truck
kind
of stuff. And
those are cool.
It was a cool exhibit. And
Oh, that'd be a lot of fun. And I love this last one that you pulled out, the Upton electric washer, the ideal gift. The copy here reads, by coming to our factory sale room, you can save from $25 to $30 or maybe $50. I can't read that. On an Upton washer. What would be a more useful gift than an electric washing machine from Mother? That's what it says here.
Yeah, although you think about it, if she was doing it by hand, she might appreciate it.
Good point. Good point.
Today, if we give our wives a washing machine, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Probably, but.
Yeah. 720 WSJM Morning Show. We're going to continue our conversation with Chuck Jager in just a moment here on WSJM.
We will see windy conditions. We dropped down to 18 and potentially some icy spots. And then lake effect snow, an inch or two of accumulation tomorrow with a high of 26. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. It's 7:20 on your Thursday, December 18th. Here with me in the studio this morning is Chuck Jager. He is the executive director of the Morton House Museum, the home of Benton Harbor history. And we're having fun. Thank you for bringing in these artifacts. That's a lot of fun. From December 18th, 1925. Toys for the Kiddies, the Upton Machine Company. If you missed any part of that, we went through what the ad copy was, and it's pretty fun to visit how people used to sell things back in 1925. For those, we should probably take a couple of steps back. The home of Benton Harbor history, the Morton House Museum. Chuck Jager is the executive director. For those who might just be tuning in and hearing of that for the first time, give us an overview. What is the Morton House Museum?
Yeah, so originally a house that was home to 3 generations of Mortons. It was built in 1849, so the oldest house in Benton Harbor. And so for a long time, we were a house museum, and we are kind of a hybrid now, part house museum, but also part home of Benton Harbor history. We're trying to tell the great story of the city of Benton Harbor. So we do exhibits, we do tours, we do talks, all those kind of things on Benton Harbor topics.
And your regular season is typically May through October.
It is. That's when we're open to the public and have tours and open exhibits.
So as Chuck has admitted, right now is the cleanup time, and the place is a mess. So he'll have it cleaned up by May.
Yeah.
But one of the things that you're working on right now is a new exhibit for the next season, the history of Benton Harbor schools. Tell us about how you arrived to that and what that's going to entail.
Yeah, well, one is we have a number of artifacts in our collection. So it was kind of a natural thing, but also we really wanted something that would interest our community. And, pretty much everybody goes to school, I think. Maybe not back in the day, but and Benton Harbor Schools has just had an amazing history. Really started in the 1860s, and it really was in the early 1900s up through the 50s and 60s, kind of the preeminent school district in the area. There's a lot of kids. So if you were a kid from like Eau Claire or Baroda or Stevensville, and you wanted to go to the University of Michigan, you probably would transfer to Benton Harbor High School and pay tuition there. Because just the academic background was so good. That was a common thing for kids from surrounding in the county somewhere.00they'd go to Benton Harbor to get that background.
Time frame that you're talking about for that.
Yeah, so kind of 1900 and 1960 probably would have been
through that area.
Really one of the best districts in the state.
Okay. And some of the things that you've noted here, some of the areas that you'll be focusing on when you talk about the Benton Harbor schools.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that's really struck a chord is we're going to be asking this is, tell me about your favorite teacher. Right. There's always these legendary teachers, and they're different ones through the different generations. So I think that's going to be a really kind of positive thing to spur people's interest, because most people have that teacher that
made a difference in their lives.
Absolutely.
So. I still remember my English teacher from 7th and 8th grade, Mrs. Seibert, and she was not, people did not like her class because she was tough, but she taught you a lot. And she really, I look back on it, and even then, it really helped shape the way I was able to communicate through reading and writing and even speaking.
Yeah, for me, it was Miss Alton, 5th grade, Roosevelt Elementary. And
Yeah.
she even, in a little booklet, she predicted, like, oh, someday I hope to see you in the State Department, which I didn't do, but I did go to D.C. and worked in the government. And so
Yeah.
it was kind of, so
No, that's great.
It was inspirational.
So legendary teachers, and just a note on this, you said that you're going to be asking people for information. You want to touch on that?
Yeah. So one of the things we're going to be reaching out to people. So we're going to be partnering with Renika Williams. She has a nonprofit called the Story Salon, and she's going to be helping to reach out to people to get those stories of their school memories. Tell us about your legendary teacher. We hope to have some video in the exhibit where you can press a button and hear about, hear 15 or 30 seconds on, this legendary teacher of the 50s, or this one in, the 1990s. And so I think it'll be a great thing. Some printed, but also some video reminiscences.
That's great. And that'll get the young kids interested as well, because everything's video these days.
That's right.
And I like that you're not keeping it to like, here's an hour-long video of teachers. No,
Short.
Snippets.
It's gotta be, attention span. Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about some of the famous graduates that you might be highlighting?
So Benton Harbor has had a lot of famous alumni. You maybe know Surratt Nature Center.
Yeah.
Lou Surratt was a Benton Harbor guy, poet, and I think a prof at Northwestern University. And some movie stars. There are a couple of silent movie stars. Monty Blue and Ruth Terry.
What were they? I mean, anything I have seen?
The one, Monty Blue, was just a bit part in The Birth of a Nation, which is the movie that sparked the KKK that we were talking about earlier.
Wow.
There. And then he was one of the few guys that successfully transferred over to the talkies, to the speaking movies. So
interesting.
And then I think about more modern, Ghostbusters, Ernie Hudson, of course, and he's kind of been very much with the Ghostlight Theater.
Yeah.
He's on their board, things like that.
Which, until you just put that in one sentence, I didn't make the connection that the former Ghostbuster is also with the Ghostlight Theater.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that's how they came up with the name, but it works. It's a
different
nice connection.
Ghostlight is a different thing, but Ernie Hudson, once a Ghostbuster, always a Ghostbuster. Okay.
Yeah, and then, of course, sports. I think we have 4 or 5 NBA players who graduated. So Chet Walker, who just recently died from the 50s and 60s. Anthony Miller, Wilson Chandler, who's kind of back in town now as a local businessman. And, Robert Whaley. And then WNBA, Kirza Gondazek.
Yes.
More recently was in the WNBA. I don't know if she is still playing or
not.
not.
No, I don't think so.
I haven't heard.
I know she was doing some magazine things. Yeah.
Joik Bell, NFL player with the Lions. So it's a distinguished history there.
Yeah. Do you have it envisioned yet how you're going to put the graduates together?
Still working on that.
Okay.
But that definitely will be an important component, I think, of these famous folks. And that appeals to anybody, even if you're not from Benton Harbor. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Famous folks.
Do you need additional artifacts?
We definitely do. So we're definitely going to be looking for memorabilia, photographs, artifacts, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So if you've got a stash at home, maybe contact us, and you could lend it to us for the season, and we'll get it back to you. We'll take care of it and give it back to you. So
yeah, absolutely. So again, especially if they're the graduates who made the top of the top into like professional sports, that's what the theme of that particular exhibit might be.
Yeah.
And so if you have something, reach out and let Chuck know. What's the best way to get through and contact you at the Morton House Museum?
So you can, there is a contact thing at our website.
Okay.
So mortonhousemuseum.org, or you could just give me a call. Is probably the best thing. And that's 269-313-2106.
Okay.
Give me a call and we'll talk.
Okay. We've got more to talk about as far as the history of Benton Harbor Schools, some of the other things. We'll talk about historic buildings. We'll start that here on the video live stream in just a moment. Here on the radio, we've got a break for a couple of commercials, important commercials, and then we'll have our latest Bloomberg financial report. That's coming up, plus a check of what's happening around the world from ABC News. This is the WSJM Morning Show. It's 7:29. All right, staying on the video live stream. Any other famous graduates? What do you have there? What's that?
Just some different things. So this is from the 1940s. We recently this summer got some donations. So it's a Go Tigers pin, but also has a Roosevelt FDR pin and Wendell Willkie.
Oh,
Okay. Trying to think, is he FDR as a VP or he ran against?
he might have ran against him because it says
so.
Willkie and McNary.
Yeah.
And Roosevelt. Wow, that's that's in really good shape too.
Yeah.
And the first one says "Yay Tigers" and it's a football.
Yeah. Yeah. So that kind of thing.
Where'd you get that one?
A person donated it. They had a whole bunch of stuff. Their parent died, and they were going through stuff, and so they donated stuff this summer.
Yeah, as someone who's had to clean out their parents' house, there's a lot of stuff you just don't want to part with.
Yep.
But you don't want to hang it, or keep it hanging around either.
Yeah.
It's like this means something to someone somewhere. I don't want to see it go to the landfill. Maybe it has historical value.
Yeah.
But not everything. Go ahead.
We hear terrible stories all the time of like great stuff just being thrown out.
Yeah.
And so, think about that historical value before you throw stuff out. And my other big thing is labeling photographs.
Oh.
Who is this a photograph of?
Okay.
Because one generation, now people are like, I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
We have albums in the Morton House where these people were important to the Mortons, and now we don't know who they are. They weren't labeled. So
and
label your photographs.
So the labels should, at the very least, include who is it.
Yeah.
And if you can, the date.
Date would be great.
That it was taken.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you receive a lot of? Do you still receive a lot of printed photographs?
Certainly some, yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of times people will allow us to digitize them.
Okay.
Right. So we can scan photographs and have it as part of our collection, and then they can keep the photographs if they want. So
is it better or worse? And sorry to only give you two options there, but is it better or worse to have everything moved to digital photography?
Well, I think it's safe, right? I mean, fires and people lose stuff or they get thrown out.
Sure.
Right?
They don't get damaged as often.
It's just, you got to keep updating to the most recent digital version.
Right.
So I think I still have some floppy disks.
Oh,
right?
no.
So,
you
so
should
those
move
are
that
getting
stuff
hard
over.
to move over. So
yeah, because that the floppy disk, as with hard drives and everything else, it's based on a magnetic disk.
Right.
Whether that's a Mylar thing or a metal thing, but the magnetism we learned with the early DVDs or the early CDs, something wears out, right?
Right.
I don't know if it's the same principle, but
get them converted.
Yeah. Okay. We're talking with Chuck Jager. He is the executive director of the Morton House Museum, the home of Benton Harbor history. Let's talk about historic building. Oh, first off, any more famous graduates? You talked about a few.
Boy, I kind of covered it, I think.
Music-wise, you should probably put that out there when you put the call for information, because I imagine we probably have folks who were in the recording industry as well. And I say that because I spent some time over at a recording studio near here, over by the airport, and it fascinates me how many people have come through there and recorded different pieces for art. What you looking at there?
Well, just different school buildings. So this is the first school building for Benton Harbor.
Wow.
This kind of looks like a little garage or a barn. They call it the Little White Schoolhouse.
Hold that up if you wouldn't mind. I'll zoom in on it over here. Okay. So yeah, just hold it right there. And then what is that? Describe it again.
So the Little White Schoolhouse. So back in the 1860s, this was the first schoolhouse. Benton Harbor wasn't even a village, probably a couple hundred people in the town. But you need a schoolhouse.
Where was that? You can.
So it was on Pipestone, kind of if you're going downtown, up the hill just a little bit.
Okay.
So pretty close to downtown on Pipestone.
Huh.
And then the next building was what they called the Union School, which would have been like K through 12, and that was also up on Pipestone by the Methodist Church.
Hold on one moment. We'll be right back. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
Sorry for the pause there. We were so engrossed in our conversation, we decided, oh yeah, is it time to come back? Yeah, it's time to come back. I'm talking with Chuck Jager. He's the executive director of the Morton House Museum, the home of Benton Harbor history. And we're just scratching the surface on historic buildings, talking about some of the buildings that were part of the history of Benton Harbor schools.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk some more about that in just a few moments. The first one again,
Yeah, it was called the Little White Schoolhouse.
yeah,
And
it looks like a barn.
It does. It's a little outer outbuilding kind of thing.
I mean,
But,
because and I say it looks like a barn because it's got the sliding barn door in the front
yeah,
looking thing.
that might have been added later, I think. This
Oh,
is
okay.
like a 1940s, 50s picture.
Yeah.
When it was there. But it would have been a typical one-room schoolhouse
Wow.
back in the 1860s.
How are they seated at that point? Did they have desks? Were they benches? What
I've
were they
seen
doing?
benches, sometimes desks, but yeah, one teacher teaching all the grades, and
Yeah.
the older kids would help teach the younger kids, which was a nice positive
We should
thing.
try that model again.
We do it sometimes, I know.
All right.
Yeah, high school kids will tutor kids and things
Yeah.
like that.
So I mean one teacher for all grades.
Yeah.
7:35. It's the WSJM morning show. Let's get a quick check on the weather forecast for today. It's going to be a cloudy day and rain throughout the day. Breezy conditions, a high of 49, 50 degrees, depending on where you are in Southwest Michigan. Out in Dowagiac, I think it's going to be 51. New Buffalo, definitely 51 degrees as the forecast for today. Winds out of the south, though, keeping us feeling a little bit cool. South winds 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusting up to 40. Tonight's forecast, cloudy, 80% chance of rain, then changing over to snow because we're going to have a cold snap roll through real quick. Windy and colder conditions, a low overnight of around 18 degrees. That west wind is going to gust up to 35 miles per hour. So that might make your travel tricky in the wee hours of the morning or even in the morning commute as well. So stay tuned here to WSJM in case we get any closures or delays for Friday morning. It's 7:36, latest world and national news.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Trump speaking to the country in what was billed as a year-end address.
Inflation has stopped. Wages are up.
The president saying prices are falling fast, although certain products like beef and coffee are up. And experts say Trump's tariffs have contributed to inflation. Among the announcements during his speech, a so-called warrior dividend check, which Trump says will be sent to nearly 1.5 million military service members. He says the checks for $1,776 will be funded by tariffs.
ABC's Sophie Flay. When it comes to health care, the president did not offer any specific plans, and Congress is getting ready to leave for the holiday break without voting on extending the ACA subsidies for premiums. That means the premiums are set to skyrocket in the new year next week. Still searching around Brown University for the shooter who opened fire at the school, killing 2. Pope Leo tapping fellow Chicagoan Bishop Ronald Hicks to be the next Archbishop of New York. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Some of the news that we have coming up just after 8 o'clock this morning, as we've been talking about this morning, the historic restart of the Michigan Palisades nuclear power plant will not happen this year as earlier planned. Holtec International, the company overseeing the project, confirmed the revised timeline after previously planning to resume power generation by the end of the year. We'll tell you a little bit more about that story. That's coming up. Also, a new management firm has been selected to run Benton Harbor's Dial-A-Ride bus service. We'll give you some more information on what that means. And then also, major work at the St. Joseph water plant is now complete. 3-year project, $17.4 million upgrade. And they say it's going to make the drinking water safer and the process for cleaning the water more efficient. More news coming up. We've got Chuck Jager here. Also, he's the executive director for the Morton House Museum. We're continuing our conversation with him right now on the video live stream. Here on the radio, we've got the latest state news from our friends at Michigan News Network, and then sports.
The Michigan News.
Okay, back on the video live stream. Let's see. The historic buildings. So you talked about the first ones.
Yeah.
What do you have there?
And then this is kind of the first standalone high school. And this was on Broadway and Colby. People would still be around who knew it as the junior high. So the new high school is built in, this was 1890s to 1920. And then the current building was built in 1921. Although the current building didn't really have a basketball floor, and they played at the Naval Armory is where
Hmm.
Benton Harbor High School played its games. And then in the 50s, I think 1956, they added the wing that has the gymnasium on it.
Oh, okay.
So that was 1956.
This is a beautiful building. It's not still there.
No, unfortunately, wouldn't it be great to still have that?
Yeah.
It was torn down, I think, in the 70s.
Beautiful. How many?
Yeah, that architecture, it would be great to have that building still
Just
today.
gorgeous. Do you know
Yeah.
anything about the architecture itself?
I don't.
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of Victorian Romanesque kind of
Yeah.
architecture.
Yeah. What do you have any idea how many students were in there at that time?
Boy, it had to be quite a fefew, and they did add another wing. So
Oh.
this is a postcard that has the wing that's been added on to the side. So
Oh,
at some point they said, because
wow.
Benton Harbor was very much a growing town in the early 1900s. So yeah, so there would be people certainly around that would still remember that building fondly. So, but
High school
they
building,
would know
Benton
it
Harbor.
probably more as the junior high. So after 1921, that became the junior high school for Benton Harbor.
I love how prescriptive the postcard is. It says this space may be used for correspondence. This space for addresses only.
Yes, yeah. Don't mess with that.
My son, speaking of postcards, I don't know if you see many of them anymore, but my son actually came across a postcard and he addressed it and he wrote something on it and he sent it to me the other day. It took forever to get there.
How retro.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
retro.
Yeah, that's
But
cool though.
he embraced
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really fun. And it was funny because he kept calling and saying, "Is it there yet? Is it there yet? Is it there yet?"
Yeah.
But okay, so the old buildings. Any idea how many buildings we've had? Different school buildings.
Boy, quite a few. I don't know if I have that here. We had a number of ward buildings. So
Ward buildings.
So neighborhood buildings.
Okay.
Morton Hill, Calvin Britton, Hull School.
Every ward had its own.
Yep, they
Okay.
did. Yeah. And then in the 1960s, we saw consolidation really across the state, maybe the nation. I don't know that, where these different small districts would consolidate in one. So I think there were like 10 or 12 school districts that consolidated into Benton Harbor in the 1960s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
lots of historic buildings. So the consolidation happened. And then you also note here the desegregation case. Talk about that.
yeah. So as white people moved out of Benton Harbor, suburbanization, white flight, those kind of things, there were allegations that people took actions to make the schools more segregated. And it really came down to three school districts: Benton Harbor, Coloma, and Eau Claire. And I think the main allegation was that Coloma and Eau Claire would accept white tuition students that were coming out of Benton Harbor as things changed. And so went to federal court, and they ordered a desegregation where they had to do trying to bring white students from Eau Claire and Coloma into Benton Harbor, and black students could go to Coloma and Eau Claire to kind of desegregate those three.
Okay.
So
did that result in any major shifts or changes?
Well, you certainly saw. I'm not sure the movement of white kids was very successful. You certainly saw plenty of African American kids going to Coloma and Eau Claire.
Okay.
And then today we have schools of choice. So one of the unfortunate things is we have lots of Benton Harbor residents going to surrounding schools today.
Yeah.
It's one of the big problems that Benton Harbor School is facing.
Yeah.
Because their kids are going to other districts.
Yeah.
So, and it was really the opposite in the early 1900s, where those outer districts were coming to Benton Harbor because of the quality of education.
We are talking with Chuck Jager. He is the executive director of the Morton House Museum, the home of Benton Harbor history. And he's talking, giving us a preview of some of the things that you can expect to see next season at the Morton House Museum. The exhibit that they'll have through the season, it's covering the history of Benton Harbor schools. And again, this is something that people from the area who have a history of whether it's a historical item or a story or something along those lines can actually contribute, and it might be part of the exhibit.
Yeah, absolutely. We're certainly seeking more stuff. So if you got interesting stuff, stuff that people would be intrigued by, we'd love to hear from you.
Photos, school paraphernalia,
Yes.
Stories.
Yep. Yeah, we'll be definitely looking for stories.
Yeah.
What's your best school story from Benton Harbor schools?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll come back and get more on this. We're talking with Chuck Jager, Executive Director, Morton House Museum. The Morton House Museum, they're open from seasonally from May to October. How are you funded?
We are memberships, donations. We're currently working on a grant, so we get some grants there. And then events, tour proceeds, speakers, right? We'll charge $5 to see a speaker. So it's a variety of things, but privately funded.
Okay. Next
So
year,
501c3.
next year you should plan for a walnut sale.
Walnut sale. I like it. I think that would be great.
That way you don't have to pick them up anymore.
Yeah.
You pick walnuts. Okay, 7:45 WSJM Morning Show continues.
Rain showers this afternoon. High temperatures will be in the mid 40s. This evening, the rain will change over to snow as temperatures drop. We will see windy conditions. We drop down to 18 and potentially some icy spots. And then lake effect snow, an inch or two of accumulation tomorrow with a high of 26. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
It's 7:46 on your Thursday, December 18th. 43 degrees in Benton Harbor, 43 in St. Joseph, 41 degrees in Dowagiac, Buchanan, and Niles, both at 43 degrees right now. The feels like temperature, a few degrees off that. Buchanan, for instance, even though it's 43, feels like 28. We're talking with Chuck Jager. He's the Executive Director of Morton House Museum, the home of Benton Harbor history. And we've been talking on the video live stream primarily about the Morton House Museum exhibit that's planned for next season, starting in May, where they will be covering the history of Benton Harbor schools, really just covering through Benton Harbor as it was the preeminent school system in the area from 1900 to 1960. That's a long reign.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so talking about stories, gathering stories and artifacts from individuals who went to or had family who went to the Benton Harbor school system. And so if you need more information about, you come across something, you think, hey, this is something that might be valuable to that exhibit, all you have to do is reach out to the Morton House Museum. You've got a website and they can connect with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Give us a call and let's talk.
The website is
mortonhousemuseum.org.
Okay. And so some of the things they're looking at: legendary teachers, the famous graduates, the sports, the band, the choir, historic buildings. You've shown us 3 examples there. And then stories of the consolidation and the desegregation. The oral histories, the memories and oral histories. Let's make this part of our Moody on the Market update this hour, which is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. So for the oral histories, explain that, the memories and oral histories, explain that concept again and how it's going to happen.
Yeah, so we're partnering with a nonprofit group called a Story Salon. Ronika Williams runs that.
Yeah.
Primarily trying to collect African American memories. So we did a partnership a couple years ago with Great Migration of Black people moving from the South to the North, and family histories and things like that.
Yeah.
So we're going to work together to reach out to people to say, hey, can you share your stories with us on especially Benton Harbor school memories?
Yeah. And they're going to be captured, recorded.
Yep.
Audio and video potentially.
Yeah. And especially we're thinking too that we might have an online presence. So we know there are lots of people who used to live in Benton Harbor have moved somewhere else. So across the country, they could tune in and share those and also see those memories.
I love that idea, especially, again, with people and time, we lose the stories. And if you miss the opportunity to record them, if you unfortunately lose a loved one or they come down with something like Alzheimer's or dementia, they can no longer share those stories, that history, whether it's for your family or your community, lost.
Yeah.
So I love that you're working
it's really
with,
important to do.
Yeah, I love that you're working with the Story Salon, Ronika Williams, on capturing the memories and the oral histories for Benton Harbor. And then I see a question mark by this next bulleted item: Benton Harbor basketball documentary? Question mark?
Yeah, so we had a nice talk. I think it would be a hugely popular thing.
Yeah.
Benton Harbor basketball has been so successful. I think like 4 state championships and all these NBA players. And to be able to, have a video where we interview those people, hear the stories of the, great games in the state championships. I think it would really be a great thing. We could have live watch parties for that. Maybe it shows up on, PBS South Bend.
Yeah.
Right. I think that
Why
kind
not?
of thing. I think it would be really, really attractive.
I think
to a lot
people
of
would,
people.
people would greatly appreciate it. I mean, I think immediately of, the Bearded Boys of Baseball, Chris Ariano's
And a documentary.
a documentary about the baseball by the House of David here. Why not the history of Benton Harbor basketball as well?
Yeah, I think it would be wonderful. So
Yeah.
we're going to try to make it happen. We'll see.
I like that. You're also trying to make happen a potential Graham and Morton steamship in this year's Blossom Time Parade. Tell us about that. What's the idea there?
This is a dream at this point, but we've been working with some different people. The Morton family, the most notable thing is they ran the Graham and Morton Steamship Company for 50 years. So these big steamers took fruit over to Chicago, took tourists back over it here. And so we're thinking about building a replica of one of those steamships and having it as an entry in the parade. Powered by a bicycle. So me maybe riding a bicycle inside the steamship down Main Street in St. Joe and Benton Harbor. Really cool.
That's really cool. What do you need to make that happen?
Well, some design people. So I sketched some stuff out on paper and it's terrible. You can't see it as, but we're working also with Cycle Recycle.
Okay. Yeah. Just down the street here.
With the bicycle folks. And so we might do a kind of a joint entry, and they, I think, are going to help us with the bicycle part and attaching the steamship to the bicycle, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
because that's a piece of our history here as well that many people aren't able to physically see anymore.
Yep, and maybe some artists for design, helping with the outside of it, the decoration on the steamship, the lettering and the colors and stuff. So if you're a design person or an artist and want to help out, this sounds intriguing, but maybe a cool thing. We have local floats, but a lot of the entries in the parade are kind of from out the area. And so I thought, it'd be a nice community thing to have this piece of history coming down Main Street.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. And then again, people just can reach out to you through the Morton House Museum.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We're talking with Chuck Jager. He's the executive director of Morton House Museum. MortonHouseMuseum.org
Yes.
is your website.
Morton House Museum.
Oh, MortonHouseMuseum.org.
Correct.
Okay. MortonHouseMuseum.org for contact information. We'll be back to conclude this interview in a couple of minutes. But this has been part of our Moody on the Market update, which is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. You should also do an exhibit on radio stations, Benton Harbor radio stations.
There you go.
We have a great history. All right. We'll be back.
To the 40s.
It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Insurance Management Service, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and Niles.
Hi, this is Brett Witkowski.
Okay, still on the video live stream here with Chuck Jager.
That was the other thing in the 1925 paper. You know how we have weekend TV listings?
Yeah.
Today in 25, there are radio listings, all the different radio programs.
See?
Right, listed in the newspaper.
See, and there's been a decline in newspaper.
Yes,
and
unfortunately.
And so they stopped doing the radio listings. There's been a decline in newspaper. You do the math.
There's a connection right there.
There's a connection right there. They should have kept doing. Yes, exactly. They should have kept doing the radio listings. If you're like me, you remember. Do you remember the first time you accessed a newspaper via the internet?
I don't remember the first time, but it's a great thing. You know, we have newspapers.com at the museum, and so it's a great thing to be able to go back and find those.
Yeah. So the first time I accessed a newspaper, a current newspaper, on the internet, I think it was probably 1993, maybe 1990. Yeah, it was probably 1993. The Seattle Times, because I was living out in Seattle at the time. There was this fun thing called the internet, and I lugged this desktop computer from somewhere. I mean, the thing was an anchor, and finally got it hooked up to the internet. Finally got into the newspaper, and there it was, big and beautiful and great. And I think not too long after, they put a paywall up.
Yeah.
And it's like, gee whiz. And I think that's been a large problem for their content. It unfortunately, it's driven people to the free sites.
Yeah.
Which don't always have maybe the same journalistic integrity.
Well, May to October, we have an archive room at the museum, and you can use ournewspapers.com for free.
I love that.
You come and
We'll
set you up, and you can research there if you'd like.
They used to have did you ever access the newspapers through the museum? Remember the museum?
I know the museum in DC.
Yeah.
I never did that, but
They used to, every day, they had the front pages of newspapers from all across the nation, whether they were national papers like USA Today or New York Times, or local papers.
Nice.
And so you could go through and see what's making the headlines today.
Yeah.
I don't think they do that anymore because the museum, kind of went.
I definitely remember going
away.
through microfiche.
Oh yeah,
for newspaper articles.
That was a lot of fun. It'd
be a pain.
Yeah, well, that too. Okay. Other things that we didn't get to cover: America's celebration of the semi-quincentennial, which translates into 250 years. What are you thinking there?
Well, just I think you're going to see lots of stuff next year already. There's stuff going on.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like it's going to be as big as the bicentennial, but the 250th, I think, will be a big thing with just for history buffs. Go back and make those connections with that. And we have the Mortons had an ancestor who fought in the Revolutionary War. So
really,
maybe when I come back in the spring, we can talk about that ancestor and what he was doing 250 years ago. In there, so
that's great. Yeah,
because he was very much involved in Lexington Concord and the Battle of Dorchester Heights outside of Boston.
Where did you get this information?
Well, that's kind of part of the family lore.
Yeah.
So Stanley Morton, the last kind of Morton there, was a historian, and he did all kinds of family history and local history. So we have those stories, and then we've added to it, along the years.
Through the way. Okay. Again, let's do a plug for your books for sale. Well, we'll hold that and we'll do that on the radio as well in just a couple of moments. But what do you do in the off season at the Morton House Museum? I know the place is a mess.
Yeah. So
why is it a mess?
It's a mess because as you're going, I don't know about your system of organizing, but I have to take everything out.
Yeah.
Cull and sort and then put it back.
That's familiar.
And we're in that. Yeah. Everything's out right now. So we have an attic full of stuff. So a bunch of stuff is from the attic is down.
Yeah.
Just to get it out of the attic so we can sort it out. But we're also rehabbing a room. We're redoing the floor and redoing the walls and things like that. So.
All right. Sorry, I'm letting a guest into the studios here. There we go. All right. Okay. Well, we'll come right back and we'll conclude our interview with Chuck Jager, who's been generous with his time and his information. Thank you for doing that, Chuck. We appreciate you. Executive Director for Morton House Museum. Again, for more information, mortonhousemuseum.org.
Yep.
And we'll be right back here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Compatible. They were not cold climate heat pumps, so they would not have heated this place, and they were too small. And so as soon as I saw that, I was like, this is not going to work. He was able to call and confront the other contractor, and they still did not understand. They thought that everything they bid was absolutely fine, said that they've put them in all the time. We got that job. Install went great. Customers extremely happy. They've had no trouble since.
McKee's Heating and Air. Feel at ease with McKee's.
Your Southwest Michigan Bryant dealer. Whatever it takes.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is WSJM FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community. The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
Our guest this hour has been Chuck Jager. He is the Executive Director of the Morton House Museum. Always a wealth of information about our local area. Love talking to him about all the different things that we have coming up, including next season. The Morton House Museum exhibit is going to be the history of Benton Harbor schools. But happening right now, even though they're closed for the season, the Morton House Museum has an idea for last-minute Christmas gifts. Go.
Yeah, if you're like me and don't have all your shopping done, you got a history lover. We have a number of books for sale on local history and Benton Harbor history. We have a book about what Benton Harbor was like in 1954, which is fascinating. Lost Benton Harbor. Got a book about my bicycle ride on the Territory Road across Michigan.
Nice.
They're all on the website. And you can order there. And if you're local, we'll even deliver before Christmas.
Before Christmas,
before
key
Christmas.
words there. So if
Yeah.
you're looking for that last minute,
I think we need orders by like Monday or so.
Okay.
Though.
Okay. Last minute Christmas gifts, books for sale, mortonhousemuseum.org.
That's right.
Chuck Jager, thank you for spending the time this morning. We appreciate you and everything that the Morton House Museum does.
Thanks so much. Always fun.
Absolutely. We've got the latest world and national news now from ABC. Our local news is next. It's 8 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. During a nearly 20-minute address to the nation last night,